Hi everyone, welcome to week 4 of our class. If you can believe it, we are almost halfway through. This fourth week will mark sort of the halfway point of the course so far. And this week we are going to be talking about two different topics. We're going to be talking about water, which is going to encompass the availability of water and some of the problems with getting water or accessing clean fresh water. And then the other topic we're going to talk about this week is solid waste. So we'll talk a little bit about what makes up our waste stream, what happens to waste when we're finished with it, and maybe some ideas or ways that we can sort of reduce our waste overall. So for this particular module, there are a few things, well, not I guess a few things, just one thing really that's different than normal. Your assignment this week is something called the Trash Can Diary. And the Trash Can Diary includes keeping track of absolutely everything you throw away for a period of 3 days. And then you sort of analyze your trash log, as we're calling it. You analyze your trash log, you look at the things that you threw away, and you answer some questions related to that. So what's important this week is that you need to start this assignment by the latest Friday of this week, because that gives you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to keep your log. And then at the end of the day on Sunday, you can answer those questions and submit that. If you can start the trash log earlier than that, that's probably a good idea. It gives you a little bit more time and a little bit of flexibility. But I just wanted to let you know that, again, things are a little different this week. So if you wait till Sunday to go to the assignment, you're going to see, oh, oops, I don't have the information I need, and there's no way you're going to be able to turn it in. So please make sure that you, again, just start jotting down informally for 3 days everything you throw away. So that's this week's assignment. And then, of course, the not blog posts, discussion posts, and also the module quiz. Also, just as a reminder, you have 2 chances to get your best score on that module quiz. I've noticed a lot of you seem to just be taking it once, and even though you're not getting full credit, you just don't take it again. And I don't know if that's because it's okay with you to miss a few points, which is fine also, or that you don't realize that you can take it again and try to get a better score. So I don't want you to leave points on the table that you could be earning just because you weren't aware that you can take these quizzes twice. So please note that, again, if you missed a question or two the first time, feel free to take it again to try to get a better score. In addition to this week's assignments, which I just sort of went over, the other thing that I kind of briefly wanted to talk about was, oh, actually, you know what, let's do this. Let's talk about the results from the Socrative surveys. So I've had, a fair number of students each week who have been using the Socrative surveys. I do check-in points is what I'm calling them. So if you answer 5 of these, you can earn 2 points for each, up to 10 points. You're more than welcome to answer more of them, but you're going to max out at 10 points for these check-ins. And it tells me a couple of different things. Number one, it tells me it gives you the opportunity to ask me questions, things that you want to know. And number two, also I can sort of gauge what types of materials you're kind of understanding, or in this case, what opinions you have about the material. So I asked in Socrative this last week if you thought that climate change was the greatest environmental challenge that your generation will ever face. And I thought it was interesting because the answers were very mixed. So about as many people said yes as said maybe, with a fewer number of people saying no. So they thought that there were perhaps bigger challenges that they would face. And then the other question I asked was, do you think your generation, or sometime within your lifespan, you'll see specific policies that will be enacted that will enable us to mitigate some of the effects of climate change? And mitigate just simply means trying to lessen some of these impacts that we're going to see over time. And the majority of people in this case did say yes, that they thought that was the case. So I definitely see a trend of optimism here, which I think is really good. I know that things can kind of get overwhelming as you go through this information, focusing on all the negative things, right? All the pollutants and all the plastics, and nobody cares, and all of these things, and it kind of can feel overwhelming at times. But it is important to know that part of being here and learning this and understanding this information is also knowing that there is the chance for change, right? We can make a difference if we get together and pull things together. And when I say we, it means here in the United States, but also means globally as well. A lot of these problems take global cooperation, and we have been able to do it in the past, and we will be able to do it again in the future. So I just wanted to sort of go through those results with you. So keep filling out those surveys. Just as a reminder, because I had a few people ask me, the room number is always the same. It's Pierce 5099. Every Tuesday, a new survey will be available for you to take. And again, you have to answer all 3 of the questions in order to get credit for those. The last thing that I want to talk to you all about is a little bit of information about the exam. So we're sort of at the halfway point here, and it's the time where you're probably, if you haven't already started thinking about the exam, maybe you've got some questions about the exam. Just as a reminder, let me go ahead and pull up some information. So I've got information about the breakdown of grades and everything in the class. So just as a sort of reminder of what we're doing, we're only taking one exam. We only have essentially 8 weeks, not even really 8 weeks, it's more like 7 weeks, and then the last week we're going to use for our project presentations and our exam. So it's not a whole lot of time that we have to fit everything in. So for the exam, there will be study guides available, and you're actually going to have 2 different options as far as what type of exam you would like to take. Option number 1 is going to be an exam that features essay-only questions. So there will be 6 essay questions. Each question will be worth 25 points, and that will be the entirety of the exam, which sounds daunting, except that I'm going to provide you in advance with the questions. So I'm going to give you a list of 10 possible exam essay questions that you'll see on the exam, and I guarantee you're going to see 6 of those. So when you go to take the test on the computer, the test will randomly select 6 of those questions for you to answer. So you'll have the questions, you'll know exactly what I'm going to ask, and you will have time to prepare yourself to get ready to answer those questions. So that's option number 1. You get the questions ahead of time, but you have to be able to put together answers to essay questions. Option number 2 will be a more traditional exam. It will consist of 75 questions that are multiple choice, matching true, false, those types of questions. You will still be provided with a study guide, so you'll have something to look at to help prepare yourself. But again, this will be sort of a little bit more of the traditional type of test. So you get to pick, right? So there, again, you've got 2 options, and you get to pick the one that works best for you. It's not something you have to decide until right up until the exam. I will provide the study materials for both exams starting next week. So the essay questions will be available for you to review, and the study guide will be able for you to review. And you can look over them both. And then again, the week of the exam, you get to decide which one you want to take. So again, I just wanted to give you a little bit more information about what was coming up as far as the exam goes. I'm probably also going to post this information in the announcements page this week. So there will be a specific announcement about the exams. Actually, you know what? I'll probably do it next week because I'll post the study guides along with that announcement. So look for an announcement next week with also the study guides and the essay questions becoming available. I want to give you lots of time to prepare for that. I also will be creating a separate video that's going to talk a little bit more about the Green Tech project. So far, I've had you all come up with some potential topics and ideas for what you want to discuss. The next step is going to be to select one of those topics and to come up with a 1-page outline of information. It can be bulleted points. It doesn't have to be complete sentences. It just needs to be enough information that I can kind of get a sense of what your project is going to be about. So that's going to be due next week. So I will also post sort of a separate video that talks a little bit more about the project, because for those of you who have not chosen a topic yet, that's fine. Even if you didn't turn in the project brainstorm, that's okay. You still need to think about what your project you're going to do, because this 50 points is a fair number of points, and I don't want you to miss all of them just because you didn't do the first assignment. So there's still plenty of time to jump back in to this project. Just make sure that you choose a topic and then try to turn in that outline before the projects are due, which again, they're not going to be due until sort of towards the end of our class time together. All right, so I think that's it for this week. Once again, if you ever have questions or concerns or problems or more information that I'm not providing, just let me know at any time. And things that are coming, again, don't forget, you need to start your trash can diary. Start keeping that log at least 3 days before the assignment is due. So that means by Friday, you should start working on that. And also start thinking about maybe what your exam style preference is, right? For people who are writers and feel they express themselves well when they write, the essay exam might be for you. And for those of you who don't consider yourself a solid writer, maybe it's not one of your strong points, you might think of the more traditional exam as being a better fit. But you've got lots of time to decide, and I'll provide those study materials for you all next week. So in any case, I hope everyone has a good week, and you'll hear from me again with my check-in email on Wednesday. Thanks, everyone.